Yes, from Tallinn, Estonia. Senator McCain, if I could start with you. Donald Trump, as you know, has threatened to expand America's nuclear arsenal, even suggested that he would welcome a nuclear arms race with Russia and other nuclear powers. As you know, nuclear arms reduction has been a bipartisan priority for decades. In your view, are his comments, in this case via Twitter, are they dangerous?
I believe that it's patently obvious that Vladimir Putin is increasing his nuclear arsenal. He is violating agreements that he has made concerning certain types of nuclear weapons, and we need to have a strong nuclear inventory, and we ought to do what we can to make Vladimir Putin stay with the agreements that he signed that he is now violating.
Senator Graham, on the issue of nukes, you during the campaign have been critical of many of Donald Trump's positions and the way he's expressed those positions on key national security issues. Do you worry that Trump's communication style using Twitter could lead to misunderstanding, potentially escalate conflicts over what are sensitive, arguably the most sensitive issues involving nuclear weapons, whether it's a North Korea or a Pakistan or Russia? How concerned are you about that being a platform for stating potential changes in U.S. security policy?
Well, when it comes to the nuclear issue, President-elect Trump said we need to modernize our nuclear force, and we do. Some of it's falling in a state of disrepair. But I'll be honest with you, I'm not so sure this is the best way to communicate. It's up to him. He beat me. He's President of the United States. All I can say is that one thing Putin's done, he's brought Democrats and Republicans together to go after him. I think most of us, Democrats and Republicans, really believe that Russia's up to no good all over the world. They're trying to break the back of democracies. And if we don't push back against Putin, Iran and China, they could hack into our systems. Today it's Democrats, tomorrow it could be Republicans with the Iranians and the Chinese. Trump says he's going to be tough with Iran and China. He needs to be. Well, we need to show any nation what happens to them if they try to interfere in our democratic process. To my Republican colleagues, it's the Democrats today, it could be us tomorrow.
The point is the president-elect doesn't just have a minor difference on that issue, a slightly different approach, at least in his public comments so far. He has a diametrically opposed concern about this. He says Russia not a threat. He wants to get closer to Russia. He denies that Russia hacked the election. I mean, that's not a minor adjustment to the view of Russia that, for instance, you and you said 99 members of the Senate have. How do you rectify that?
Well, first of all, let me point out that I have disagreed with Republican presidents in the past. I disagreed with Ronald Reagan when he sent Marines to Lebanon. I said that Donald Rumsfeld, the Secretary of Defense, had to be fired because of his failure in Iraq. So it's not unusual for me not to agree with the President of the United States. And on this issue, as we have hearings on cyber, which will be, I think, very helpful to helping him understand the threat that cyber poses, and believe that he will take appropriate action in order to help us counter what is really a threat to the very fundamental of democracy, which is the ability to the outcome of a free and fair election.
Senator McCain, one signal as to Donald Trump's approach to an issue such as Russia, of course, will be Republicans have a majority in the Senate?
I have concerns, and I will wait until the nominee responds to the questions that we have, clarify his positions, clarify his record. Every elected president has it's not the right, but the president should be able to name that nominee that the president chooses, and then the Congress and the United States Senate exercises its role of advice and consent. And that's what I will be exercising in the case of Mr. Tillerson. And yes, I have concerns. I have concerns about his relationship with Vladimir Putin, with relationships with Russia, and other issues as well. And so we'll wait and see. I'm supposed to meet with Mr. Tillerson, and I'll look forward to that opportunity.
Senator Graham, finally, you're very aware of this public confrontation between the U.S. and Israel over the UN Security Council resolution on Israel's settlement policy. Under Trump, do you believe that the relationship will improve?
Absolutely. I am very pleased with the wall as part of the occupied territory. It's ridiculous. It's a break in policy. For decades, we've had a dispute with Israel about settlements, but every president has agreed not to take that dispute to the UN Security Council. And as Bibi says, you don't take friends to the UN Security Council. What I thought the UN Security Council did was really, quite frankly, outrageous, undercuts the prospects of peace. And I will be working with my colleagues to push back against this resolution, either cut off funding, suspend funding, or some form of reprisal against the United Nations to give President Trump some leverage to get a better outcome. So I'm very encouraged that under President Trump, Israel's going to get a better deal.
Senator Graham, Senator McCain, thanks very much for taking the time, and we wish you safe travels home. Our experts are here now to react to what we've just heard from Senators Graham and McCain. Josh Rogan, if I could ask you, this is a pretty remarkable division between the president-elect, not only the intelligence community, but as you heard Senator Graham say, 99 U.S. senators. They seem to be hoping he will come around, Mr. Trump, on Russia. What is that hope based on?
They're making their case. They're literally traveling the world to collect. And as you pointed out very skillfully in your interview, if President Trump doesn't want to believe it, he's not going to believe it. They can pass sanctions, they can hold hearings, they can have intelligence officials make statements. In the end, the only person that matters is the president-elect. They're doing their best to collect as much evidence as possible. They're not there yet.
General Hertling, Senator McCain says that he's confident that President-elect Trump would, if necessary, defend NATO members from Russian aggression. But of course, you're very aware Donald Trump's comments, both before and after the election, have questioned the U.S. commitment to NATO. Should U.S. NATO allies, particularly in Eastern Europe, be concerned? Should they be fearful?
Well, I'm very biased, first of all, Jim, in favor of NATO. I think it's a terrific organization that has expanded the communication and the exercises and the support on combat and other areas among the 28 nations of NATO, and that goes even beyond those 28 nations. The concerns I have are those other ones that are not receiving the support that they should from the United States. So I believe that, as Josh just said, there is a lot of evidence out there. I think once Mr. Trump is presented with it, if he does have the ability to kind of expand his worldview a little bit and see how important this organization that's been around for over 70 years is, I think he will begin to understand how critically important NATO is in securing the continued peace of Europe and areas outside of Europe.
Well, it'd be really pretty remarkable to have that happen only after becoming president. General Hertling, thanks very much. Josh Rogan as well. Coming up, new reaction as Star Wars fans around the globe learn of today's breaking news, the death of actress Carrie Fisher. You'll also hear more of Fisher's own thoughts on that iconic character of hers.
It was extraordinary entertainment filmmaking.
Do you like the princess?
I have her over sometimes.